Hey guys, so today's a bit of a special video. We're going to be going to a dressage farm in Virginia to take a look at an existing Ubiquiti setup that isn't working quite right. So it's going to be a bit of a special project. I'm going to take you guys along with me. We're going to go through and figure out what the issues are and try and get everything working. So I'm back at my brother's house here. Brother's unavailable, so...
Hi.
Sister.
Yes.
Is Wi-Fi good?
Yes.
Wi-Fi good?
Yes.
Good. This place is a massive dressage farm covering 350 acres with multiple houses and fields that need internet access. For this video though, we're only going to be focusing on the main house, but this place is just under 11,000 square feet and currently has only 5 APA CLR access points, providing wireless coverage to the house. Needless to say, with a house this big, 5 LR access points aren't enough. So this is their current network and phone and everything system in the house. This UPS is dead. We're replacing it. This weird switch, it's just a gigabit switch, but with 4 PoE injectors going everywhere. We're swapping all the stuff out for the Ubiquiti gear, ditching the access point down here because we don't need it. They have a PBX system and, you know, phone lines and stuff out the wazoo. This place has their rooms with like 5 phone lines in them. It's ridiculous. But so what we care about here is their little network patch panel. So we're gonna be swapping this gear out to use a whole bunch of Ubiquiti stuff. So now that we've gotten our lay of the land, we're gonna go to Micro Center and get the stuff that we need. So here we have all of our new toys. We went shopping, got a bunch of new gear. We have 3 of the existing 4 access points. These are APAC LRs, which I'm not a big fan of them. I left one of them still set up downstairs so that way the people can still be using the internet and, you know, doing their thing, because the kitchen's where everybody kind of congregates. We got the Cloud Key Gen 2, nice battery backup in it, you know, safe shutdown. This is going to manage everything. Typically I would use my own like hosted controller that I have, except for I'm from St. Louis and we're in Virginia right now. So that would be if anything goes wrong where I'd have to like, you know, manually do anything, or if anything just acts all funny and weird, that would be a plane ride or a 12-hour drive to get out here. So those types of jobs, I always put in a local controller. So Cloud Key for that. Then we've got the Flex HD. This is going to be their access point, their main like kitchen access point, because that area is kind of where, again, everybody congregates. People hang out there. There's also the like the den area where there's a TV and everything, and their back patio where they want better signals. So got the Flex HD for that. The APAC Pro. This guy's going to be taking care of their master bedroom and some of the areas upstairs. These beacons, they have a couple rooms that don't have any network jacks. These are essentially Ubiquiti's versions of a range extender, except for they actually work well. So we got 2 of these guys, and we have the Big Daddy, the 24-port PoE 250 watt switch. So let's get the stuff unboxed. Alright, now that we have everything unboxed, I'm going to go ahead and start cabling all this stuff up. Alright, so we found the Cloud Key here. I'm going to pop over to its address. Alright, let's do manage the Cloud Key. Sign in. UBNT. Alright, so now that we've changed our default password, we're going to do setup network. We're going to update this guy here. Alright, so we're going to name the network. We're going to call this Pi Virginia. Accept license terms. Next. Sign in with your account. Alright, we're going to do devices setup. We're not going to set up any of these devices right now. Wi-Fi name. We're going to keep their existing Wi-Fi name, just so that way they don't have to go around all of their devices and re-plug it in. Now, it's supposed to be Bolinvar, but the people that installed this stuff originally called it Bolinar because they misspelled stuff. Now I'm going to put in their password. We're going to combine the SSIDs into one, which is fantastic. Bolinar, United States, time zone, New York, yes, finish. Configuring the Unify network, and pretty soon we'll be ready to adopt the devices. First thing we have to do though is get the switch into Unify, so that way we can then take the LR access points and set that to 24 volt passive. So if we go over here to devices now, we're going to do pending adoption, we're going to do adopt and upgrade. Confirm. Alright, so the switch went down, meaning it's in its process of updating, so that should be fine. We have our cloud key. It says Ethernet disconnected on it, so I like to keep the cloud key just kind of facing me so I can just kind of read the status on it real quick. Alright, so our switch here is provisioning. I'm going to go ahead and adopt the other access. What? Oh, alright. We're going to adopt these two access points. Perfect. And now I'm going to take a look at the switch here. We are going to take ports 13 through 16 and we're going to turn them into 24 volt passive ports. 13 through 16. Edit. And we're going to say 24 volt passive. And we're going to hit apply. And as you can see, now that we have the access points adopted into Unify, it's now able to pick up our beacons. So I'm going to go ahead real quick though and switch the LRs over to our PoE, our 24 volt ports. We're also going to start adopting the beacons. And I'm going to go ahead and initiate a reset on I'm going to initiate a reset on the LRs. Alright, so two of our ACLRs came into Unify here. We've just got one that's still being slightly problematic. Wait, never mind, we've got all three of them. So we should have the Switch, the Flex, the Pro, the two beacons, and the three LRs. We're going to have one more LR that is currently downstairs. People are all eating and using the internet, so I didn't want to take the internet away from them. Alright, we have our 7 access points, soon to be 8. I'm going to go right now and terminate a connector, but it is in a public area, so I'm not going to film that. Alright, so we are essentially ripping all of this out. They are going to lose their internet for a few minutes, so let's try and make this downtime as meaningful as possible. They get their internet through a WISP. So ideally, so they've got a dish upstairs in their attic and it's got a PoE injector on it. But since we're replacing the UPS with a bigger one down here, they need some form of redundant power upstairs because I can't think of a way to get the power upstairs to come off of this stuff. I might try and do a route through on the Switch with some port. I'm not sure. Hey guys, Editing Jack here. So, yeah, you probably noticed how stupid what I just said was. I wanted to leave it in there just to kind of show my thought process. So my idea was to create a VLAN with essentially 2 ports on the Switch, one of which would be sending power to the dish, the other one would just be the out port, essentially using the Switch just as a PoE injector. Dumb idea, horrible idea, don't do that. Then I had another idea where I'm like, well, they're using an Edge Router X. So if I can get into the configurator for that, I can then switch the ports because it's got a PoE in and a PoE pass-through port on it. So if I can make the PoE in port the LAN port and the PoE out port the WAN port, power, and just power the whole thing through the Switch. A lot of you will probably realize that there's a very, very easy way to do this. put a coupler on the cables upstairs, and bring the PoE injector down to the basement and plug it into the UPS. I ended up doing that. Ideally, we bring the switch next to the patch panel, but the patch panel is done up in a weird way and it's in a weird position, so I don't have the ability to easily move the patch panel. I need some way to get the switch up here, and I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that, but that can be figured out later. First things first, install the redundant power. Next up is our red cable. I always label the main internet feed line red, so typically that would be this line, but this line is not terminated to a plug, it's terminated to a connector. So I'm gonna use the red as our uplink into the switch. And I want my twist tie back. Next, we're gonna patch in all of the runs that are gonna go upstairs. So this is our system after the first wave of changes. We have the 4 ports that are going to places in the house. We have these 2 lines which go to this this wireless bridge for some lights, and as well as to that power over Ethernet injector, which I'm not sure, or this Ethernet over power line adapter, which I'm not sure why they have. 4 of them are getting passive PoE, as indicated by the blue tape that I've put on here. The WAN port, or the LAN port coming off of the router, and the WAN port going in, as well as our cloud key here. And then this is their patch panel. Alright, so now that we've got just about everything in place and all finished up, I'm going to take you guys through a bit of a walkthrough. We are still waiting on a Mesh Pro access point to put up on the same arm that, that holds up the main internet dish. And that's just going to be able to provide Wi-Fi to the backyard. So starting off right when you walk in the house, if you make a left, we have the library. Now in the library, providing wireless access is the AP-AC Pro placed under this chair. Then that feeds into the Dream Machine beacon access point, which is placed in the formal living room, and that also kind of feeds to their poker room, I guess you would call it, but that's kind of where everyone goes during the winter. Then moving down to the basement to the game room, we have an AP-AC LR. That's one of the existing ones that I just reconfigured to work with our new system, and that handles the duties of the basement just fine, as well as providing coverage to their wine cellar area. Then we get to the networking closet area where we have another AP-AC LR that's just kind of up in the ceiling there. And then we have our rack of equipment. So this is the Unify 24-port 250-watt switch, the Cloud Key Gen 2, a random patch panel that was already there, and their router is an Edge Router X. We also have the nice new fat UPS to keep their internet up for when the power goes out. Making our way up to the kitchen and the main first floor area, we have the Flex HD access point that provides coverage to the kitchen where everybody kind of congregates, as well as the living room. And then it feeds into this other Dream Machine beacon access point, which provides coverage to the outdoor sunroom where people like to make phone calls and stuff. And they have no cell service here, so they use Wi-Fi calling. And then upstairs, we have an access point in one of the bedrooms. I'm not going to show that because, you know, privacy, and as well as in the master suite at the end of the hall. Making our way upstairs, we have Wi-Fi being handled by another AP-AC LR, and that covers the 2 bedrooms at the top of the stairs, as well as, you know, the bathroom and everything. And then making our way into the walk-in attic, this is where the main internet comes in through the big Ubiquiti dish on the roof. On top of that other line, we are going to put the Mesh Pro, and you can see that coupler that I did. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. This one was something a bit different. Taking an existing Ubiquiti setup and moving it to an even fatter one. Migrating over the old access points, finding out a lot of new information. Having the cabling already done for me was very nice because there's no way I'd have been able to cable this place. This place is not in my wheelhouse of my skills of cabling. So, hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'm gonna get into the pool.